What's up guys, Jerome here from the Bonsai Supply, and today I'm going to work on this Adenium which I have picked from our pre-bonsai section from our eBay store. This tree is also going to go on our auction page, but a little bit more about that at the end of the video, so let's get right to it. Adenium, also known commonly as desert rose, is a really cool tree because it is very forgiving. So especially for beginners, it is low maintenance. It does flower, so the flowers come in all different varieties of colors. And what I like about a desert rose a lot is that they have really interesting and really cool codexes or root spreads. And there's a lot of things that you can do with those roots. Alright, so every time I work on a desert rose, for me to see its full potential, I have to take it out of its pot. So first, when I decide I want to repot a desert rose, I always let it dry out for 2 weeks prior. So I stop watering, I take the tree, I move it into a shaded area so that no water gets to it. And then after 2 weeks, once the codex is dried up, I remove all the leaves, so I defoliate it, and then I take the tree out of its current pot. So I just take it out, and then I like to use water, so like a soft water setting on my hose to wash away all of the dirt. And I actually already prepared this for today's video. After I wash away all the black soil, I wait another couple days for the tree, for all the roots to completely dry out. And this is what I discovered, a super cool root spread. Alright, so these are the roots that I discovered, which are really, really nice. So I really definitely want to highlight the roots on this tree. It has a lot of potential and I have a lot to work with. Alright, so the first thing that I noticed when I look at the roots of this desert rose is that all of the roots here come out of the exact same area on the trunk, which makes it a really good candidate for turning this into a lateral root spread. So what I could do is untangle the root mass down here and then take these roots that come out of the same section and kind of lay them out like that, flare them out like this all the way around, and then just remove the center section, all the roots that are on the inside in here that grow straight down. We can remove this and then spread out the roots and turn it into a really cool root flared root system. Alright, so the first root that I'm going to have to remove is this one right here, because first of all, it's not coming out of the same section as the other roots. It's coming out a little higher, and it is very thick, so it's very dominant, which makes it really hard for me to move it. And so I'm going to remove this section here, and all you need on a desert rose is scissors. And so you don't have to leave any dieback on a desert rose, because desert roses don't really have a lot of dieback. So now I use my concave cutters just to make a really flush cut. Here. Alright, so next I can take these roots. So I'm going to untangle this mess down here that I have. So this root can be spread like this. This one we can take right next to it. Alright, so the only ones that we can't utilize in this design are the ones that are directly in the center. So basically the tap root. So if you see this thick one that's down here, let me see, this one, this is the tap root of the Adenium. And this one cannot be utilized to turn it into a lateral root system. So I'm just going to go ahead and take this out. Alright, so as you can see, I'm actually wearing disposable gloves. So whenever I work on desert roses, whether I work on the branches or on the roots, I always like to wear gloves because some of the desert roses are actually toxic. And just to be safe, I always wear gloves when I work on any type of desert rose. Alright, so you can actually just use your scissors to cut a lot of really thick branches or roots on a desert rose because it's actually really soft. So the codex is extremely soft. But as you can see on the inside here, to reach, I have to use my concave cutters just to cut all of these cuts flush down there. Alright, so the next part, now that I cleaned out the center and I'm flaring out these roots, I'm going to have to shorten them a little bit because it's just too long right now and it's going to be really hard to position them. And as you can see, some of these roots come out and I don't want to have that. So I want to have them grow out completely flush. So I'm going to cut them back just like this. And the cool thing about desert roses is you really don't have to be scared. So you can just cut this all the way back and new roots will shoot out from here. Alright, so what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to flatten the tree because as you can see the roots are pushing the tree up a little bit. So I'm trying to flatten it just a little more. But as you can see, it looks really cool already. So imagine this in a little pot like this at some point. And all the roots are starting to fuse because as they start to thicken up, they actually fuse together. And that's how you can create a really nice root spread. And I like the way it looks right now. It looks really cool.
Next level.
Alright, so I put a little piece of wire here in the front so that you can see what I envisioned for this tree to be the front. And I chose this as the front because it has such a nice root spread all the way around and all the branches look really good all the way up to the apex. Now I chose this beautiful pot, which was or is still a baking dish. I drilled a few holes and I tied the tree down into this pot. And the reason why I chose this pot is because it's very shallow and it is just the right size. So I don't want to have too big of a pot at this point because I'm just working on thickening up the roots. And when you have a shallow pot like this, the roots really start to spread more readily versus going down. So next I'm going to go ahead and take some of these branches that stick straight up into the air and just point them out a little more and just put a little bit more shape into them. So today I was really focusing on developing the root flare, and I also wired a few branches down. Now the next step for me is to take this tree back outside, keep it in the shade for another week and still not water it. Because I created a few scars and I removed a lot of roots, and so we have a lot of open tissue. And so I want to make sure that the tissue really gets to dry out completely. So I wait about a week to 2 weeks and then I water for the first time. And then I just water once a week until I see that the tree starts to push out green leaves. Once the canopy is full of leaves, that's when I go ahead and start to water every 3 days. Alright, so as you can see, this desert rose is now growing actively, which means I can move it out into full sun and within no time it will have a full canopy of leaves. Once I see the flowers starting to push, I'm going to go ahead and start to water them on a daily basis as long as the tree is in full sun. So this tree is going to be now on our website under our auction section for the next 3 days, so you can bid on it, and if you win it, we'll ship it straight to your home. So I wish you guys happy bidding. Good luck, and thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.